Peace, everyone. This is Laura Steen again. I want to give thanks to the Universal Mother and also to our ancestors. I decided I'll stop by. I wanted to stop by today to share a thought that I had with you. I was looking at the correlation between a barometer and our feelings or emotions. And we all know what a barometer is. A barometer measures change in pressure. And I wanted to make that correlation with our physical body. We know that change comes with experience, the experiences that we have in our everyday life. And with those experiences comes about pressure. And those changes are reflected in our circumstances and in our opinions. I'm so glad to have y'all here today, and I want us to really enjoy this, so I'm going to try to explain this to the best of my ability, how I experience it and how I see it from my vision, because all of our visions are different. I see the barometer inside of us as, let me give an example, as a measuring stick. Let's use it as a measuring stick. We know that meteorologists use it to determine the change in the atmosphere, the pressure, like when the wind is going to change and what the speed of it is going to be. And those are the changes in the Earth atmosphere. Also, we have those same experiences inside of us. And we experience those experiences through our feelings and emotions. They bring about change, circumstances, pressure, opinions. And we also experience that through our belief system also. As an example, I just want to name a few things when it comes to our emotions, like us being impatient with each other, us being jealousy is another thing, hatred, when we're really happy about something, and when we experience joy in our life. Also, when we have low points in our life, like sorrow or sadness, disappointment. Also, when we're being patient with each other and happy and kind to each other. Those are feelings and emotions that we have. And those feelings and emotions have scales. We'll just use, we'll use a scale. And we'll allow that scale, we could look at that scale as being a ladder in our life. And let's say that the ladder has 7 steps. And let's say the middle step of the ladder is 0. And let's say one side of the scale is the barometer, and the other side is just a scale that's from 0 to 100, and 50 being the middle point. And that's how we'll look at the ladder. And we have to, we really need to, we don't have to, but it would be nice. We really need to look intimately at this ladder. And when I say that, I'm talking about our inner being. We really need to look inwardly at this ladder. And as we look inwardly, we're looking at a barometer and a scale. And that's spiritually. And this barometer and scale, as we were saying, has a midpoint. And we're going to say the midpoint is either 0 or 50 because the scale goes to 100. And for the majority, and we're going to look at where we spend the majority of our being, where we spend most of our energy, where we spend our energy, our feelings, our emotions at. And let's say that the lower part of this scale or this ladder or this barometer, the lower part of it is our lower being. And that's where hatred and sorrow and sickness and misunderstandings and forgetfulness, unforgiving, impatient, unkind, etc. Let's say that all that is on the lower part of the ladder, down below the 50. It's down below the 50. It could be scattered between there anywhere because we know that there are so many other negatives. Because in vocabulary, we have all words are either negative or positive. Okay? So whatever negative thoughts or feelings or words that is part of our belief system or vocabulary or our makeup is down below 50 or 0. And then let's say that above the 50 is kindness, patience, love, forgiveness, understanding. I don't want to say understanding. Understanding, joy, happiness, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, gratitude, thankfulness. And we know all the other good words that's in the vocabulary is all above the 50. And let's look at, first of all, our chronological age. And after we look at our chronological age, let's see how many of those years we have lived or dwelled in the bottom of at the bottom of the ladder. That's 50 and below. We're going to call that the negative side. How many days and months and years and weeks and decades we have spent dwelling in the lower part of this ladder. And also how many days and weeks and months and years and decades we have spent on the above part of the ladder, the upper part of the ladder. And that's in the positive zone. We are the only ones that can answer the question for ourselves. So we can make the decision to be honest with ourselves or to continue to deceive ourselves. Because no one deceives us, we deceive ourselves with what we want to accept and with what we don't want to accept. And that's our right to be able to do that, or make the decisions to be able to do that. But we also must understand that when we make those decisions to not look inside of ourselves, then we're making the decision to not truly, honestly face who we really are. For one reason or another, we just don't want to face ourselves. And a lot of times it's because it's really painful. And, we're just a species that just don't want to deal with pain. So what we do is that we just bury it inside. Because anything that we don't face or deal with is buried inside of us. So back to the barometer. As we bury those feelings of dislike about ourselves, or not wanting to face ourselves, or blaming somebody else for the way that our life is going, or the way that our life have went, then it's a barometer there. And that barometer measures pressure and it measures changes. And a lot of time, the changes that we're dealing with in our life is because we haven't really faced ourselves. So as we continue to age and not address the issues that are in our life,